Another thing that was settled in the women's game was the FA Cup final, as Chelsea beat Manchester United 1-0. I was lucky enough to be in attendance at Wembley, took my daughters to go and see a historic moment for Manchester United ladies team who have never appeared in this competition's final before. So we were hoping to witness a big moment of history and see them lift the trophy. But this is Chelsea, isn't it? Chelsea are such a formidable force in the women's game, and it was a very tight game and a game of small margins, wasn't it? And the fact that it was televised with 77,000 fans in attendance made it feel like such a massive occasion. And I can verify, being there, it felt as big as it looked on telly, probably more so. So yeah, Chelsea are winners of the FA Cup again, the third time in a row. That girl, Sam Kerr, in the right place at the right time. But it wasn't always straightforward for Chelsea, was it? United made it very difficult and made a spectacle of it for most of the game, I would say.
Particularly in the first half, Man United really had a good go of it. But this is what this Chelsea side does. They've got one of the most elite players in women's history in Sam Kerr. And as soon as they brought Kerr in, you knew that it was going to help take them to that next stage. They were already an incredibly successful team in the British game, but she's just so clinical. She was outstanding in this game. I think she made Man United defenders really worried. There was a chance for her to get an assist quite late on as well, where she put the ball through her legs and moved forward, put that great ball across the box as well. Chelsea could have been out of sight in that second half, I've got to say. The first half I thought was pretty level, but that's what quality gets you. They've got probably the most elite manager in British women's football in Emma Hayes, who knows how to win this competition. It's a great squad. Someone like Lauren James, who's come from United and it's just kicked on to the next level at Chelsea as well. It is a shame. But United have had a phenomenal season. Again, whatever happens, they've got to take it back to the WSL now and try and hold on to that place at top spot. But it's going to be hard with Chelsea breathing down their necks, as they saw this weekend, right?
Oh, yeah, it would be a really sort of tense end to the season in the WSL. And I can only hope that United bounce back quickly from this disappointment, because to get to Wembley and to play in a spectacle like that was amazing. But obviously to win it would have been fantastic. And psychologically, I do hope that it's not crushed them too much to get so close, but feel so far away from a trophy. But in such a short space of time, they've progressed so much. And so many players can hold their heads up high, I think, not just from this game, but for the season generally. Ella Toone has been great all season. Alessia Russo looked a bit isolated in this game, but she's got so much talent and she's such a clever player. And I just think they've got so much potential to do well in this season. And I do hope that the WSL doesn't just fade out to be a Chelsea procession now. I really do. It's difficult, isn't it? Because, I mean, United are on top at the moment, but Chelsea got a game in hand. They potentially will go 2 points clear if they win that game in hand, as many expect them to. If United finish second, it's a bit like an Arsenal situation in the men's game, isn't it? Would they be disappointed with it? I think so. I think they've got so close to glory in both competitions that it's something they can definitely learn and grow from, but I can't help but think they'd be gutted.
Yeah, you always are, aren't you, when you come that close? And it'd be interesting to see what United do in the summer as well, because there was talk of a massive bid for Russo in January, wasn't there, as well? So whether they hold on to the players that they started to grow together, and whether they really look at this as an opportunity to kick on, because let's be honest, Manchester United as a football club kind of neglected the women's team for far too long, and it's really nice to see them grow now. And that's what the women's game needs, high-profile teams that are willing to invest and kick on and bring in that fan love. I mean, for you, being able to take your daughters to it, that's such a wonderful experience for you to see the growth of that side of the game massively. And United should be a big part of that. So although it might feel frustrating to finish runners-up to Chelsea twice, there are plenty of good teams that are going to finish second to a team like Chelsea with the quality that they've got.
The difference between Chelsea and United, from my perspective, and I think many others as well, was the experience really showed in the second half of a team that's used to winning versus a team that's not been in this position before. It was like an unknown territory for United, definitely. And they were so enthusiastic in the first half, and obviously the goal was disallowed within 20 something seconds for being offside. Again, very fine margins,
tight. It was really tight.
And that energy continued throughout the first half. I thought defensively they kept it really solid at the back as well. And May Letitia is fantastic. She's having a great season. They dealt with Sam Kerr well. And so when they brought Pernilla Harder on in the second half, you just knew it was going to stretch the play, and it really did. Yeah. And Chelsea with Kerr and Harder up front are a different proposition altogether. It's just a world-class front line. And for everything United did, they could no longer do that in the second half once Harder was there. Did you see that front line as being the best in the world at the moment? I know there's a lot of very formidable women's teams, but Chelsea look amongst the best, don't they, with that forward line especially?
Yeah, absolutely. I think the connection between the two of them as well, like when you saw the ball in for Kerr's goal, that pass was just outstanding. And for a striker of Sam Kerr's quality, you put a ball on the plate like Harder did in that instance, and you're going to lap it up all day. So it's fantastic for them. They'll be disappointed at the fact that they're not going for the Champions League this year, but domestically, it definitely doesn't get much better than Chelsea's front line. I mean, the way that Barcelona are, you have to wonder whether Chelsea have enough to compete with them long term. But yeah, right now, look, Villa got knocked out the FA Cup to Chelsea. You've suffered it this weekend as well with United. You can't be too aggrieved by it though, can you, when you see the quality they've got on that pitch? And like you say, the depth they've got to bring Harder off the bench even as well. That's just ridiculous, isn't it? It worked really well for them.